Track 29.
Unit 14. Listening. Exercise 1. Listen and number the listeners' names in the order in which you hear them.
As you know, this week we've been talking about the European Union in many of our programmes on Radio Medway. After the discussion about the Eurovision Song Contest, we asked you to phone or write in to tell us your thoughts and to vote for your all-time winner. This telephone message from Helen Wilkins is typical.
Hi, just wanted to say that I think the Eurovision Song Contest is great fun. We all love it because it's so bad. No one watches for the quality of the music, do they? Oh, and my favourite of all time has to be Waterloo by ABBA, doesn't it?
Not sure I agree with that, caller. My all-time favourite is Sandy Shaw's Puppet on a String, and that's a view supported in a letter I have here from a Mr. Derek Howes. We don't often get letters nowadays, do we? I'll read it to you. Dear Feedback, thank you for the great programme about the Eurovision Song Contest. I've watched it every year since it started. The first time I saw it was on a tiny black and white telly in our neighbour's house. When my parents finally got a TV in 1962, it became a family tradition to watch it together each year. My favourite song is Puppet on a String. It was the winning song in the year I met and married my wife, Sandy. Ah, isn't that nice? But not all of you were as enthusiastic. We got a message from a very angry Gregory Thompson.
I'm just ringing to say how annoyed I am that Jacqueline Goodall, a music professor, can give her time to discussing something as silly as the Eurovision Song Contest, and to even say that it's terrific fun. I really do despair. I teach music in a secondary school, and it's hard enough to get the students interested in serious classical music without a university lecturer supporting the so-called music of the Eurovision Song Contest. Surely you could discuss the Young Musician of the Year awards, couldn't you?
Well, thank you, Mr. Angry. I'm sure we would discuss it if our other listeners were interested. I'll just read you one last email on the subject before we have our next commercial break and I get a cup of coffee. Where is it? OK, this is from Tamsin Parker and she writes, Hi, as always, thanks for the great programme. Don't know if you and your listeners know, but there is now a junior Eurovision Song Contest, which is as good, or should I say, bad, as the adult version. The best ever song for me is Brotherhood of Man's Save All Your Kisses for Me. Horrendous words, dreadful tune, it's the perfect Eurovision song. Thanks for that, Tamsin. Let's move on now to people's favourite train journey.